In 1975, the Polish Communist government was growing in international debt, causing the first political upheavals to start amongst the unsatisfied Polish nation. In 1980, the economic situation got worse. Workers organized mass strikes, first on a small scale, but increasingly stronger as the workers realized their power and unity. The strikes reached a culminating point in Gdańsk, during which Lech Wałęsa stood as leader and speaker of the workers. The Socialist Party was forced to negotiate new terms and conditions. Workers' Union Solidarność was born. The minute it was formed, the Socialist Party wanted to defeat it. The government announced a time of war and delegalized solidarity. Many leaders of Solidarność have been arrested and strikes were brutally removed. Despite the terror, the leaders and workers of the union, which have escaped, started underground meetings and plans to change the political situation. They created illegal radio, Solidarity, and a newspaper which was distributed and produced underground. The 1988 strikes were the reason for the Communist Party to communicate with the union. The two sides have agreed upon certain rights during their first meeting at the Round Table. In 1989, Solidarity was once again legally recognized, and Poland had its first free elections, during which the candidates represented by Solidarity have won all the positions negotiated by the Socialist Party. As a result, another election followed in 1990, in which everyone voted for Lech Wałęsa to be the first president of Poland, as it became finally free again.
In Czechoslovakia, the end of communist rule was defined by the Velvet Revolution. A 6-week period of nonviolent protests started on November 17, 1989, by Czech university students in Prague. 92% of the Czech public participated in the demonstrations, which culminated 10 days later in a 2-hour general strike by all Czech citizens. It took about 2 weeks for the nation's media to begin broadcasting reports of what was really going on in Prague, and in the interim, students traveled throughout the country to spread the news. Soviet control officially ended in late December of 1989. In 1992, Czechoslovakia peacefully split into the Czech Republic and Slovakia. Following the split, lax regulations on foreign investment in the developing media industries led to Swedish, German, and American investors owning majority stakes in all areas of Czech media.
The Russian Federation began as a union of Soviet Socialist Republics, or USSR, where communist rule started in 1922. Its leaders at the time began with Vladimir Lenin and Joseph Stalin, and ended with Konstantin Chernenko and Mikhail Gorbachev. Soviet government and policies were main drivers of Russian media, which consisted mostly of Soviet propaganda. Print media were under strict control of the Communist Party and the Soviet state. Pravda, Izvestia, Trud, and Krasnaya Zvezda, which focused on party policies, government information, labor, and military news respectively, were amongst the most authoritative and most important newspapers of the time. After the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991, the Russian Federation was formed. Boris Yeltsin, the first president of this state, came to power with a wave of high expectations. However, his term in office is scarred with political corruption and economic downfalls. Now, the future of this country lies in the hands of its third post-Soviet president, Dmitry Medvedev.
The collapse of communism in Moldova was not nearly as publicized as that of Poland's or the Czech Republic's. Part of this was due to the fact that Moldova did not have any stalwart leaders such as Adam Michnik or Václav Havel. Moldova was in fact never even an independent nation before 1991. It was part of the Romania before it fell behind the Iron Curtain of the Soviet Union. Although there was unrest during the early 90s, it was not nearly as publicized in the media as it was in other countries. This was a result of Moldova barely having any national media system at the time, and because the magnitude of its revolt happened on a much lesser scale. Part of Moldova's population actually wanted to remain a part of the Soviet Union. When this did not happen, Soviet loyalists formed a separatist region in Moldova known as Transdniester, and for the past 20 years, there has been an abundance of turmoil between the people of Moldova and this region.